Hello, South Africa. I'm Isabella Hammad, the author of The Parisian. I want to thank you for your support at this early stage. It really means a lot. Midhat is a sensitive young man born in Nablus in Palestine at the end of the 19th century, which is the period of the Ottoman Empire. And so he goes to school in Constantinople, which is modern-day Istanbul, and his name, Midhat's actually a Turkish name. And we join him the novel starts with Midhat on his way to France. At the start of the First World War, he goes to study medicine in Montpellier in the south of France. And so the first part of the book follows Midhat falling in love with a woman in France and also with France in general. And he goes back to Palestine at the end of the war when the Ottoman Empire has been defeated and the British and the French have carved up the region and the Arabs are starting to fight for their independence. So this period in France is very formative for Midhat, and it casts a long shadow over the rest of the novel as we watch him contending with the demands of his inner life, which is very influenced by his time in France, and the demands of his family and community at this period of rupture and change. So in the first part of the book, Midhat spends time in Montpellier and in Paris, and a lot of the novel has to do with longing for a place that is not his own and that has a complicated relationship with, as an Arab in Europe in wartime, with these colonial powers that then take control of the Middle East after the war. Most of the novel does take place in Nablus in Palestine, which is now in modern-day northern West Bank. And Nablus is a very ancient city. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. And it's always been this place of political agitation and organisation and resistance against whatever occupying powers ruling them at the time, whether the Ottomans, the British, or modern-day Israel. And then, we also go to Cairo, we go to Bethlehem, we go to Jerusalem. The novel travels around a bit. In 2017, we had the 100-year anniversary of the Balfour Declaration, which was when Lord Balfour committed the British government to facilitate the establishment of a Jewish national home in Palestine. There was a clause in the agreement that suggested protecting the civil and religious rights of the current inhabitants of Palestine. They missed political rights, but in any case, it didn't work out that way. And what we're seeing today is really a continuation of the events and issues that are covered in the period of the novel. The Palestinians are still fighting for their independence, and they still have not achieved their civil and political rights, and the situation is still unresolved. Yes, I did. So Midhat is based on my great-grandfather, also called Midhat, and I was told many stories about him when I was a child, and the funniest and the most famous stories were love stories, particularly about a woman in France.